just going to go ahead and get my little recording going here. I like to record these sessions and then awkwardly watch myself later and cringe because everybody hates how they look on camera. So I just want to start off today by doing a territory acknowledgement. We, the Chamber, and everything we do is on the Lekwungen territory. So this is the land of the Songhees and Esquimalt First Nations. I'm really new to this territory. I'm from Burnaby, which is Musqueam, Coast Salish territory. And I have loved being in Esquimalt. The land here is absolutely stunning. I'm in love with the water. I'm in love with the fact that I can just walk to the ocean in 2 minutes from my house. So I'm feeling really grateful to be here. So I'm going to talk about 3 core things today. So the first one is, what exactly is the Chamber? What do we do? And how can you make the most of your membership? So what is a Chamber of Commerce? I know this is maybe a silly question, but over the years, I worked at a couple chambers, and it's surprising how many people think we're a bank. And I don't blame them. The name Chamber of Commerce is not helpful. It's a little bit misleading because we are a business association. You might hear us go by a different name, which is a board of trade, but we are a group of business owners and leaders who care deeply about our community and just really want to promote economic development in the region. Our chamber, I believe, was founded in 1947, although don't quote me on that. The actual date's on the website. So we've been around for a pretty long time. Chambers are going through a technology revolution right now, and I think I can say the same for our chamber. We've kind of been shifting from the in-person style operations, doing a lot of stuff digitally now, and COVID has really just accelerated that. So what the heck does a chamber do? We have 2 primary functions. The first function is one that is often happening behind the scenes, and a lot of people don't know about this, but our first mandate is to really advocate for business. We are the spokesperson for the business community in the area, and we translate group thinking into action. So it means that we're constantly listening to our members and we're communicating it back to groups like City. So Chris and myself have frequent meetings with Barb Desjardins, who is the mayor of Esquimalt. We're in communication with the powers that be at the township. And we are really advocating on your behalf for business issues. So for example, during the height of the COVID kind of lockdown here on the island, I was part of a task force with the South Island Prosperity Partnership. And our task force was focused on coming up with solutions for retail businesses and how we could support them through this time. So we're kind of doing that a bit behind the scenes, but I try and tell new members and renewing members about this because if you're having any challenges, it's something that we can often be a liaison on. We were connected with a local organization, helping them expand their liquor license during the patio expansion process. So we can kind of play a little bit of a role in that. The second thing that we do, which I think people generally maybe know a little bit more about, is we offer products and services that benefit our members. So we have the group insurance plan, which I'll talk a little bit more. I've got a slide later. We do networking, and we have a digital networking session next week at noon if either of you are interested in attending that. We are just beginning to do a series of virtual Pro D sort of sessions. Those are kind of in the works and should be launching in December, maybe January. And pre-COVID, we were involved with a number of community events and in-person events. Obviously, that's kind of gone on hold for right now, but I'll talk about what we've done instead of the networking coming up just in a sec here. We also offer a ton of free advertising and marketing opportunities, and I can't stress this enough. You paid for your chamber membership, and you can really double and triple the value of that membership just by taking advantage of the free stuff that we offer to you. And we, of course, have our newsletter. I think both of you are probably receiving those, but if you're not, just give me a shout and I can resubscribe you. So being part of a chamber is kind of a cool thing because you're not just part of the municipal chamber here with Esquimalt, you're really part of a larger network that goes all the way up to the Canadian Chamber of Commerce. And the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, much like our own little chamber here, they are a huge advocate for business. It was actually through some of their recommendations that certain COVID relief measures for business were actually modified and expanded based on feedback from local chambers. So it's kind of cool just to think about this on a little bit of a bigger scale because we're pretty small here in Esquimalt, but you're really part of this larger chamber network. I do have a little bit of info about the Canadian Chamber. They represent more than 200,000 businesses. Kind of cool. I do encourage you to check out the policy work that they are doing. On a micro level, here in Esquimalt, who are we? So the Chamber is governed by a board of directors. We are spearheaded by Chris Edley. He is our president. He is the owner, co-owner of the Sharks store, Sharks Coins, and Edley Signs. Really great guy. I totally encourage you to reach out to him. And I'm sure Megan, you know him, so I'm kind of preaching to the choir here. But for Bella, Chris is a fantastic resource. He's grown a number of businesses and just has a wealth of knowledge to share. Cool. You can learn more about our board of directors and read their bios on our website, but we are currently recruiting for our 2021-2022 board. We're looking for a very broad range of community leaders and business professionals to join us. So if you're interested, feel free to fill out an expression of interest. It's a pretty quick process. It only takes a couple minutes. And following this presentation, I will email you out a copy of this so that you have all the links and the resources. So don't panic if you're not going to write that down. And I'll just quickly introduce myself. So my name is Laura Beth Keene. I am an art historian by trade, but I worked mostly in the business world. I'm an operations manager, and I'm super passionate about building community. I work at the Esquimalt Community Arts Hub, which I don't know, Bella, if you've been there yet, but I would love to show you around. We're at the corner of Head and Esquimalt, and we're open Wednesday to Saturday, doing a bunch of weird and kooky and cool things. So have you been yet, Megan?
No, I haven't been yet. I just have been time's been running away, but I'm hoping. And but when are you open? You're open Tuesday to Saturday?
Wednesday to Saturday, yeah.
Wednesday to Saturday.
Wednesday to Saturday.
Yeah, Fridays are my day off, so I might be able to make it there on a Friday.
Awesome, yeah, totally. So in terms of the Esquimalt Chamber, when I mentioned before that our first role is advocacy. So we've identified 4 different areas of advocacy that we're really focused on right now. Those are first to minimize commuter culture. So we're really trying to build a place where people can live and work in the same space. This is really crucial to the success of any community. We know that what people call bedroom communities, places where people live, but they commute elsewhere, they don't typically thrive. They don't have that same community feeling that we're trying to foster here in Esquimalt. So we support new developments that kind of meet the criteria that I've listed out there. We've been really big supporters of the Esquimalt Town Square development with Aragon. They're a really great company. They're doing really great things in the community. So we've been very supportive of that project. Another avenue that the Chamber is passionate about is promoting Esquimalt as an arts destination. Chris and I share many similar thoughts about this, that Esquimalt is really the perfect size and shape to become kind of a funky cultural hub. So we're having lots of conversations on how we can grow our arts community. And I had hoped that Jillian from the Claybox Gallery was going to be on this call, but her and I are also having lots of these conversations. And lastly, we're focused on COVID-19 recovery, and we did a lot of work in our newsletter, sharing resources on that. So there's also some information on our website if you're looking for any help in that area. So Sheila Airy is our group insurance advisor. If you're interested in getting benefits, you can chat with her. The Chamber of Commerce Group Insurance Plan is really designed for home-based businesses, solopreneurs, small businesses, businesses that might otherwise be excluded from different plans because of their size or nature. So I encourage you to connect with her if you're interested in getting some extended benefits. I always like to plug the chamber office, so we do offer space rental. So if you just need a break from your family because you're working from home, you can check us out as well. All the details are online with the rates. But it's a pretty nice office and it's a decent size if you need to hold a meeting. We've got coffee, we have a mini fridge. So the next thing that the chamber does in terms of our programs and events and delivery here, we have business mixers, virtual mixers. We formerly were doing an annual luncheon, but that's kind of on hold right now. Our AGM this year is going to be virtual, and I encourage you to attend that just to kind of find out what's coming up for the next year with the chamber. This year, we've actually had quite a bit of interest in joining the board. So it should be a good meeting. Some fruitful discussions should come, and we'll be sharing the agenda for that closer to the date. One program that the chamber has that I'm really hoping to ramp up in 2021 is our ambassador program. So we did onboard one ambassador this year, and she is a local soap and body care sort of crafter. I think both of you may know who I'm talking about, but she is super lovely. I think it's public knowledge she's pregnant. So she's stepping a little bit back from the many projects that she's involved with. But the benefit for her for being an ambassador was that I was able to connect her with other businesses to create a bit of synergy. So she was looking for businesses where she could display or sell her products, and I was trying to connect her with businesses I thought might be a good fit. The ambassador program is really like the welcome wagon to the chamber. It's a pretty simple program. We give you all the information you need to share with new members, but it's just a really nice way to kind of meet people one-on-one if you're looking to develop relationships and get to know the business community a little bit better. So if either of you are interested, just let me know and I can give you a more in-depth dive into that program. Another program that we launched this year as a response to COVID was our Esquimalt Business Exchange program. This is a really great way to just get a ton of information, a ton of resources out of the chamber network. So what you can do with this program is you can ask either a specific question or a broad question about any business challenge that you're having. So the people who have kind of used this program so far, we've had some questions about negotiating lease, because that is just like a really complicated area of business that it's so great to have an advisor talk to you on. We've had some questions about human resources, managing staff. So the delivery is really simple. You just go online, you fill out this questionnaire, you tell us what you're struggling with, you tell us your questions, and we match you with a subject matter expert. And it's totally free. You don't have to pay for anything. It's included with your membership. So I do encourage you to take advantage of that if there's anything you want a little bit of advice on. Okay, so now kind of the meat and bones of where the most value from your membership can come from. And this is all of our advertising avenues. So we are able to repost your content on social media. You can be a featured member in our e-newsletter. We have our member directory, and I'm going to talk a bit more about the member directory. We also have sponsorship opportunities if you really want your content shown everywhere. But frankly, what I tell the people is like, if you have exciting news to share or anything you want the chamber to share, just email it to me. It's really quick and easy for me to get something in a newsletter. There's no cost. It can just give you that kind of extra boost of targeted advertising. And people really do, like in terms of our newsletter, it is a really targeted group. It's local to Esquimalt, and people are reading that newsletter. So I strongly encourage you to just take a second or tag me in your social media posts. Pretty simple, pretty quick and easy, and get your messages kind of shared that way. So this year, again, because we couldn't gather in person, we were all sort of racking our brains with like, what can we do to promote businesses? How can we kind of encourage people to shop locally? So we created the Shop Esquimalt Guide. It's at the printer right now. It's being printed, and it should be in people's hands maybe by the end of this week, but I don't want to overpromise. So likely the beginning of next week. And I think both of you are familiar with this property, but if you do want more details, just head on over to the website. And we will, of course, be sharing information once it is distributed. So another property we came up with this year, again, in response to COVID-19 and because we couldn't gather, we wanted to really amplify that message of exploring your own community locally. So we created what we called the Perfect Day campaign. We're going to be doing a winter edition of this. So if your business wants to get on here, again, just shoot me an email. The concept of this was, to just encourage people to explore locally. So we did mostly customer kind of public facing businesses, but if your business is a B2B or something a little bit different, just kind of reach out to me because there's different ways we can craft this. We printed over 200 postcards that were distributed all throughout Esquimalt, and there's also a digital version of this. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the business directory today. If you're like me, I'm really nerdy about numbers and analytics and metrics. I get really excited by that stuff. I don't know why, but I promise there's only 2 charts. So if you're less excited than I am, don't worry, this will be pretty painless. But I wanted to show these metrics. This is from our Google Analytics with our Chamber Business Directory. And the reason I show these analytics is because people are looking at your business listing. So it's very important that you have this up to date. And Megan, I was actually going to share with you that your business listing was our top viewed listing in September. So it's the most.
I can tell you why.
Why were people looking for childcare in September?
Oh my goodness, were they ever? I was getting at least 2 calls a day and I had to turn every single one of them away.
Wow. Yeah. So that would be something that we can certainly update your listing with, is information about when you're accepting new children into the daycare versus when you're not. It's really easy for us to update that. Or if you want people to, if they can sign up for like a waiting list or any of that, we can also put that on the listing.
Oh, that might be, I think we need to chat about that.
Here in terms. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, and we can kind of tweak the listing to whatever details should be included on there. But what we're kind of seeing from our analytics is that people generally start at the main page and then they use the category features to really drill down into what business they're looking for. So I encourage you again to just take a look at your listing after this, make sure you are categorized properly, make sure everything looks kosher. And I just pulled up actually my own listing as a what not to do, because my listing is a little bit out of date. So I need to go in and change that. But do make sure that your listing at a minimum has your business logo, your contact details. If you want to kind of jazz it up with some extra photos, we can upload, I think it's up to 10 pictures. So you can have product images, you can have, if you've got a special sale running, stuff like that. It's super easy to customize these. And you can also have outgoing links. So my listing, I've got our Facebook, Instagram, and website. So you can add whatever you want to that listing. Okay, so just kind of wrapping up here, just want to recap the resources I've talked about. So the first resource is our board of directors, and you can access them through that EBX program, the Esquimalt Business Exchange program. If you have a question, you can also just chat with me. I've worked in a ton of different businesses, mainly in operations roles. So if you do have a question about small business or small business management, feel free to fire it my way. I might be able to help you myself. Check out our website under the section that is member benefits. I've got almost all of these kind of broken out for you, and I've been trying to really update the website with more content. Definitely make sure you're getting our e-newsletter, the best way to stay up to date. And in terms of print material, when the Shop Esquimalt guide goes out, we will let you know. And when we redo the Perfect Day campaign, we'll also be letting more businesses know about that. And both of those properties, the Shop Esquimalt guide and the Perfect Day campaign, the first ones that we did were kind of like our trial versions. So we're going to be boosting those a little bit more in the future and doing larger quantities and probably adding on a little bit more digital complementary stuff to go with those. So just kind of winding down here, the last thing I encourage you to check out is our member checklist. So I distilled all the information I just shared with you into a really easy to follow checklist. So you don't have to remember, oh yeah, what did Laura Beth tell me to do with my business listing? You can just go on the website, get this checklist, and I'll email it to you both afterwards as well. So that is kind of how to make the most of your chamber membership. There's lots of stuff going on. If your business doesn't really fit neatly into any of the programs or opportunities I've talked about, please let me know. So if there's something where you're like, oh, hey, there's nothing really here for us, or I really want more information on XYZ, just give me a shout. We're a small group, we're an agile group, and we're able to create programs that serve your needs pretty quickly. So don't be shy to share any feedback. And I hope this was sort of informative for you. Do either of you have questions or anything